everybody. Today is the Monday that I honestly didn't think I would be doing this. But plans change, things do move around, and we always need to respond to those changes in a positive way. Keep on keeping on. I hope all the students at home are thrilled with the idea that we're going to have 4-day weeks from this point on until a little bit further down the road. And we'll see where that takes us, obviously. We had a change in our Easter break, or in our spring break, rather. So today starts a fresh week of school. And I will be honest with you, I don't know how many weeks we've been out of school off the top of my head. But for some of us, it's certainly been enough weeks. I know that a lot of the students really do miss being in the building and miss seeing all their friends and that kind of thing. We had Mr. Geiger and Mrs. Geiger on Saturday night. We had a nice moment with the family on a Zoom platform where we played a few games and we got to talk and see the grandchildren, see our kids. And everybody's well. I really hope that you are all faring well and getting on as best as you possibly can. When I spoke last week, I shared a letter from Donald Hall with the students about this poet that I had met many years ago. And when I went to put the letter back, I came across a second letter that I had always kept that I just thought was kind of fun. And so my letter tonight to parents and students asked the question, can Mr. Geiger actually combine a dollar bill, a French fry, and a billionaire into a true life story about his life? And in fact, I can. And so I thought, since I did not have anyone scheduled to meet with us tonight, I hope to have that all wrapped up and have some guests tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday. But tonight, I just have a quick story to share about just that thing. About a dollar, a French fry, and a billionaire. And here's how it went. Many years ago, when I was in the food industry, my father told me a story about a gentleman who developed the frozen French fry. And the concept years ago behind freezing a potato was unheard of. They thought that those French fries would turn to mush. And indeed, if you took a potato and put it in your freezer, you would probably end up with mush. But there is a process to freeze a potato so that you can use it again and eat it as a frozen French fry. And this gentleman developed the whole idea and invented the concept of the frozen French fry. And you would not think that that is such an important mark in history, except it has impacted every person in the world in a way that no one could have guessed at the time. And the way it's impacted everyone in the world is, if it hadn't been for a gentleman by the name of J.R. Simplot, that was his name, McDonald's would never have happened. It was he, this guy, Simplot, who was able to give to McDonald's, sell to McDonald's, the idea that a frozen French fry could be transported around the country, eventually around the world, and therefore they could put their shops anywhere they wanted, put their restaurants anywhere they wanted, and he would make sure that they had identical French fries in every single restaurant. And nowadays that seems like pretty typical stuff because we get everything from the freezer. But back in the day, this was earth-shattering and as big of an innovation as anyone had ever seen. And in fact, one day I was sitting at work with my cousin and we were eating lunch and I was reading Fortune magazine and I saw on the cover of Fortune magazine, J.R. Simplot. And he was someone that my dad had talked about from time to time. And I knew that this was the French fry guy. And I had an idea. They gave the address of his company out in Iowa. And I thought, I'm going to try something. So I wrote him a note, because he was on the cover of Fortune magazine because that month he had become a billionaire, all because of the French fry. So I wrote him a note of congratulations, and I said to him, that it must be wonderful to get into the category of a billionaire. And I'm in the food service business, and I'm not even close to your level of wealth, power, or industry, but I do admire people who do well in their work, and I wanted to congratulate you for making the billionaires list. I think he was on Forbes magazine's list. And my cousin said to me, he's never going to read that letter. And I thought, he probably wouldn't. He probably has people reading letters for him. So I did something that was typical of me perhaps back in the day, and I took a dollar bill and I enclosed it with the letter, and I said, I'm not giving you this dollar bill out of sarcasm. I'm not giving you this dollar bill expecting you to need this dollar bill, but I am hoping that this dollar bill will call this letter in particular to your attention. And I mailed it to him. Well, I guess it was about a month later, I got a response from this brand new billionaire who had gotten Mr. Geiger's dollar in the mail. And I can read that letter to you. This is dated September 25th, 1991. Dear Mr. Geiger, I got your letter and the dollar. I guess I would say that letters I receive from people who write and don't request something are definitely in the minority. I'm sending you a copy of my company's brochure, which will give you some more information about the operations we have. Business is still going great. Thank you for your interest. Sincerely, J.R. Simplot. And this is a picture of J.R. Simplot from back in the day, leaning on his Cadillac car, which was a big deal back in the day. And yeah, he sent me the dollar back as well. So I never kept the dollar. I spent the dollar. Why not? But I always thought that that was kind of a interesting story, and I thought he must be a very fun guy to respond to my letter in that way. And so I thought I would use that as a quick story tonight, but also as a reminder to all of us who are stuck in our homes to take an extra effort and drop someone a note. In other words, pass along an email to someone that you haven't heard from or seen in a while. And I challenge the students to do this. There must be a relative somewhere in the country, somewhere in the world perhaps, who is sitting at home who would be shocked to get an email from you. And I think that would be the challenge of the week as we head into this holiday week, to reach out to someone who never would think that you would reach out to them, but do it just to be kind and wish them well and ask about them and share a note about your own self and how things are going at home. I think it's a great time to make those kinds of connections. We're not doing much anyway after we get out of school, and an email takes less than a few minutes, and you may even have their contact information in your contact line anyway. So that's my challenge to you. I mean, if I can reach out to a billionaire, and more importantly, if a billionaire can reach out to me, you can certainly reach out to someone in your greater circle, not the person you spoke to last week. Think of someone you haven't spoken to in years and send them a quick email note and just say, I'm glad that you're well, and I hope everything is going well. I just wanted to let you know that I was thinking about you today. And that would be a very, very wonderful thing. And if you did it while you were eating French fries, that would be really awesome. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. And we will talk tomorrow with a guest on the screen. Take care. Hope you are all well. Keep the faith, people. We will get through this. And we are moving further and further down the road toward that time when we will meet again. Good night.